Star Wars Outlaws is already a major problem for Ubisoft and Lucasfilm because gamers have been roasting the fugly lead character, the $130 Ultimate Edition, and season passes, but of course, the trailer has just continued to skyrocket in dislikes, but now we also have the shill media coming out and also trashing this game. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, it's clear that Lucasfilm was probably hoping this was going to do really good, Massive Entertainment, Ubisoft, the lot of them probably expected this to go over really well because it is an open world Star Wars experience. You get to travel across the galaxy, but I've got to be honest, a lot of people were pretty disappointed months ago when we first saw the official announcement in the first trailers for this game, and it did not seem then like this was going to be a very successful game, just judging by how critical people were. And of course, now that we have the official story trailer and we really have a lot of more details and information on the game, things have not changed for them, and it's only gotten worse. The criticisms have been thrown around social media. Star Wars Outlaws was trending not for all of the right reasons, and it probably has led to these companies freaking out behind the scenes because they put it seems a lot of money into this game. We don't know, but the rumor is $100 million budget, which is definitely a chunk of change. But now, of course, the dislikes have only continued to skyrocket. As you can see, the trailer went up 4 days ago. It's got 1.8, almost a million views, and it is sitting at a measly 35,000 likes to 125,000 dislikes. That is a pretty big ratio, and the comments are filled with people saying there's no possible way I am going to pre-order this game, there's no way I'm even going to purchase this game, and we should not trust Ubisoft. And I completely agree. Ubisoft over the years has definitely let people down, especially with their more recent releases like Skull and Bones, a game that had been in the works for over a decade. Roughly 12 years they've been planning this game, and I mean, that's just one example of the many, and people have definitely caught on to Ubisoft's BS and are not buying it. But now we also have the shill media coming out and criticizing this game. This is a Dual Shockers article. Star Wars Outlaws looks like another tired open world game. The story trailer for it emphasizes plot and key characters but fails to convince that they're strong enough. Gameplay suggests potential repetitiveness and a lack of depth in mechanics like the reputation system. Ubisoft seems to be playing it too safe, risking a mediocre reception similar to what happened with Avatar's Frontier of Pandora. That game was really not that good, and it did get repetitive after only a couple of hours, and I think that that is what we are seeing with Star Wars Outlaws. Yes, they have continuously shown, of course, Kay Vess and what she's doing, but all of the gameplay seems to be, 3 moves roughly, and sometimes she'll do something like an animation that is her, happy that she won a fight or something, but that's about it. We're not really seeing a lot of depth in these first couple of trailers and showcases, and maybe, once we get closer to release, we'll find out, oh, they were just highlighting a certain move set and there's multiple move sets in the game, but I don't think that we should be giving them the benefit of the doubt. And yes, in a game where you are, part of the underworld, you're an outlaw, you're a bounty hunter, basically, there should be mechanics like the reputation system, and this is something that I feel Star Wars did so well previously in something like Knights of the Old Republic. While it was not a reputation system, it was an alignment system, and I would have loved to see them continue those systems within these games. In something like Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, it totally made sense why they didn't have some kind of in-depth alignment or reputation system, because Cal Kestis was a set character who, yes, did follow a certain linear narrative, but that's not the case with KVS, or at least that's what they're basically trying to convince us, that it's this open world game, you have tons of choices, and we're just not seeing that yet. But Forbes also decided to put up this article titled "The New Star Wars Outlaws Trailer Looks Shockingly Bad," and it really does seem like the mainstream has been going against the game, but this could eventually turn into the Stellar Blade effect, where they were trying to talk positively about Stellar Blade because they saw the reception was positive, and they're looking at how negative things have been surrounding Outlaws, so they're going along with the narrative because their profession is on the line. So in some instances, they're almost trying to follow the trend, right? They're trying to be down and hip with the gamers. They're trying to say, we actually have the exact same opinion as you. Come and read our website again, which is complete and utter nonsense, and it's not gonna work. When it's so large, they're following these trends, or, they realize it could come back down on them even harder when they already know they're walking a thin line with how little people trust them. So if they don't end up agreeing with gamers, they're going to get roasted 5 times more than they would if they simply, put up a bad guide, or if they said, I think this game looks half decent, or in this case, it looks pretty bad. Now, of course, I would not take this as a sign as them wanting to acknowledge or recognize the problems in the industry, or, they believe the narratives they're currently pushing, because they don't. We have seen it time and time again. They are going to eventually revert back to how they've been acting this whole time. Their activism and the narratives they usually push are going to be what they continue to focus on going forward. Maybe not with Star Wars Outlaws, or maybe once we get closer to release, they will change their opinions, but we know at this point not to trust them. They are activists first and foremost, and they do not deserve an ounce of trust from you. So just because in a few particular instances they're actually taking the same opinion as the gamer population doesn't mean they're changing. And it's honestly hilarious to see this happen, right? Because it's like they're so desperate to get the clicks, to get this attention that they ultimately need in order to save their jobs. So they're trying to agree with gamers and say, we're actually gamers too. We completely agree with you. This game doesn't look good. But at the same time, you can't trust them, because I bet that Forbes in a couple of months, maybe around July, a month before this game comes out, they'll say, oh, actually, this looks half decent because we have seen it time and time again. Obviously, I think that this trailer looks bad. Hundreds of thousands of people think that this trailer looks bad. So maybe, they're being genuine this once, but I just highly doubt it. It's honestly hilarious to see the shill media turn against Lucasfilm and Ubisoft, because they constantly try to defend these companies over and over, and they do, want to stay on their good sides because they want the PR material, they want free codes, they want early access, they want, inside information, so they always try to stay in their good graces. But maybe they're realizing that's not gonna work forever. Maybe they're realizing they're going to lose their jobs and they are going to be completely irrelevant soon if they don't actually kind of get with the times and understand gamers' criticisms of titles exactly like this. Who knows? Only time will tell. But of course, the Star Wars Outlaws trailer has been getting completely and utterly ratioed, and it seems like the mainstream media is trying their best to align with gamers this time, saying the game looks bad, and I think it's honestly a hilariously desperate attempt to stay relevant. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.